Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. As always, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join. All right, we're finally connected now. It is a crappy rainy night in Tennessee today. And we have a few people joining. Give it another few minutes. Hopefully Duke will join because as someone who lives in New Jersey, I know he's going to want to hear this. And just an FYI, I did post a message. There will be no live stream next Wednesday or next Saturday. This is great. We got 21 people on now. Hey, Duke, I was waiting for you, brother, because I know you're going to want to hear this. Now, you guys know every time we do the live stream that the first thing I talk about is gun news, etc. And as gun owners, we need to fight for our Second Amendment rights every day. And we do that. Now, Duke, you live in the communist state of New Jersey. We used to live there before we moved to Tennessee. I don't know if you're aware of it. You may not have gotten the email from the NRA, but what your Attorney General did in the state of New Jersey is they started sending letters to FFLs in the state of New Jersey. And good evening, AG. So the New Jersey Attorney General is sending letters to all the FFLs in the entire state of New Jersey demanding names and addresses of every customer that purchased a Glock within the last 10 years. Now, you talk about unconstitutional. Basically, what they're doing is they're creating their own gun owner registry database. And there's no need for it. Basically, what they're doing in New Jersey, besides being unconstitutional, is literally intimidating and harassing law-abiding FFLs. The reason it makes no sense to do that is they already have that information. If you live in the communist state of New Jersey, in order to buy a pistol, you need a pistol purchase permit, okay? That pistol purchase permit, after you buy your gun, a copy goes to your local police, a copy goes to the state police, the FFL gets a copy, and the gun owner gets a copy. So they already know what you own. So there is no reason they need to be harassing FFLs. And apparently, it's because they're going after Glock. So they want names and addresses of every customer that purchased a Glock within the last 10 years. Matter of fact, I'll be on that list because even though I don't live in the communist state of New Germany, I purchased guns there earlier than 10 years ago. We've been here 7. I probably purchased a gun in New Jersey 8 years ago. So they'll get my old New Jersey address. This is just ridiculous, and it shows you what these liberal states are doing. I mean, they're basically coming after your guns. They want to know what Glocks you own. Let me tell you, it's not going to stop here, okay? And Sarita, welcome. It's not going to stop here, and I'll get to you 1 minute, Agent. They start with Glock first, because you can't be all over the place, right? So you defeat one company, and then you move on to the next. But this, in my opinion, sounds like a total gun ban and intimidation. It is just such bullshit. And you know what, Duke? See, this is the problem. You voted for that lunatic, not you, but people voted for that lunatic governor. And all she's doing is attacking Second Amendment rights. New Jersey's still fighting over the magazine ban and the assault weapon ban. And if you live in Virginia, go out and buy as many AR-15s as you can. Exactly, Donald. Absolutely correct. They're going after Glock now, but it's not going to stop there. It will be a total gun ban. Eventually, they're going to want FFL to give them names and addresses of every customer that purchased any gun. You mark my words, that's coming next. But if you live in the state of Virginia, stock up on your AR-15s now, because July 1st, 2026, AR-15s will be illegal in Virginia. You are, and this is really messed up. So, effective July 1st, 2026 in Virginia, you'll be able to own an AR that you previously owned, but you will not be able to transport them on government-owned property, which includes streets and sidewalks. So basically, you won't even be able to take them out of your house. And you know what, Agent? I thought you were legitimate, but I'm going to make you go bye-bye. Sorry. Exactly, Duke. See, this is the problem. I saw a movie once where only the military and police were allowed to own guns. It was called Schindler's List. The problem that you have with these liberal states is that They don't care if they violate the law. They just don't care. They'll tie it up in courts for years, like they're doing in New Jersey. In New Jersey, the 10-round magazine restriction was ruled unconstitutional, but it was never overturned. They've been fighting that for 16 years in New Jersey. 16 years. How long can this go on? But the problem with this thing in New Jersey is, so they're harassing FFLs and they're asking them to give them a list of customers that purchased Glocks within the past 10 years. Those are ATF forms. Since when does the state have the right to force the federal government to give up federal government forms? I mean, that's what FFL stands for, Federal Firearms License. Exactly, Donald. I mean, we live in the great state of Tennessee, and we're also one election. Everybody, I always say it. Don't be complacent because you live in a gun-friendly state. We live in the great state of Tennessee. We don't need a permit to carry. We don't need a permit to purchase firearms. We have no magazine restrictions, and that can all change in one election. And the problem that you have is people are voting in these liberals. Now, I'm sure the people that voted in that lunatic governor in Virginia had no idea she was going to be this bad. And the lunatic in New Jersey, she's actually worse than Governor Murphy. And that says a lot. But the problem you have is you have these lawmakers that know nothing about guns making up gun laws. That's dangerous. And I've said it all along that the government is trying to have a unarmed society so they can make us do whatever they want. Yeah, well, Memdemi, he's another one. I mean, this is the problem, is that all of these liberals are like frickin' communists. Well, the problem you have is that there are liberal gun owners. So you're a liberal gun owner, but yet you're voting for people that are going to take your guns away. And the funny thing is that, and that's a great point there, Remshore, that there are people, and I know people that's parents fled a communist country to come here for a better life. And what the Brandon administration did is they mutilated the life that we know. They allow illegals into this country. They don't, there's certain states that you're not even allowed to ask for ID for people to vote. And I just don't understand that the mentality of these people who, by the way, liberals are supposed to be more educated than we are. How much of this Kool-Aid are they willing to drink? I mean, you can't tell me that they don't see what's wrong with this country. I mean, they have this Trump derangement syndrome, and instead of fixing stuff, all they worry about is trying to hurt President Trump. Hey, welcome there, Ozzy. And the funny thing is, the liberals hate guns unless they're the ones pulling the trigger. It's okay when they shoot at our president. But this is what they're trying to do. So I urge everyone, regardless of what state you live in, go stock up on guns now. Because another year from now, the midterms, whatever, you may not be able to get them. So I highly urge everyone that is legally able to purchase a firearm to go buy as many guns as you can. And here's another one. Niata, your mommy's calling you. Time to go back in your mommy's basement. Yes, and ammo. If you don't reload, I highly recommend that you start doing it. I started reloading right before the pandemic. I didn't even think about it, honestly, but a good friend of mine from Texas called me up one day and said, my dad passed 12 years ago, and he's got a reloading press in the garage. It's just rusting and collecting dust. Do you want it? So I said, yeah, sure. So he sent it to me, and it was an RCBS rock chucker. And I've probably reloaded 50,000 rounds of ammo. And not only stocking up on ammo, if you don't reload, I highly recommend you consider doing it. I predict come August or by Labor Day weekend, the price of ammo is going to be higher than it was during the pandemic. The price of consumables, such as primers and powder and bullets and brass, is going to skyrocket because the government can't control the guns. Right? They know that the bad guys got a lot of guns, and there's nothing they can do to stop that. So all they can do now to stop us is, okay, we can't stop the guns coming in, but if we stop ammo, people can't shoot them. So primers, they're almost at pre-pandemic prices now. Prior to the pandemic, they were about $30 a thousand. They're about $50 a thousand now, which isn't bad, because during the pandemic they were up to $200-300 a thousand. And I'm down to like my last 5,000 primers. I'm probably going to buy 10,000. I will never have an ammo shortage. I have a boatload of brass, especially if you have a revolver. People that own revolvers, fortunately, that brass will last you forever. You don't lose it because it doesn't eject, and being it doesn't get fed in through a feed ramp, it doesn't get the shit beat out of it like it does in a semi-automatic. Yes, Duke, and this applies to everyone. Okay, this applies to everyone. I put my email address in there. And Duke, I would be glad to send you everything you'll need to reload for 10 millimeter. Um, Anyone else that has any questions, you can always reach out to me through my email address. I answer every email that I get. Exactly, Ozzy. And my God, Ozzy, you live in Illinois, right? What the hell are you people gonna do if they start serializing ammo? I mean, these ammo companies like Hornady, etc., they're gonna just not sell ammo to the state of Illinois. There is no way that these ammo manufacturers are going to individually serialize every casing in a box of ammo. That's not going to happen. And if they had to do that, do you have any idea how expensive a box of ammo is going to be if each casing had a unique serial number on it? I don't see that happen. It's just like some of these states that make it so difficult for gun manufacturers and companies that have accessories um, to do business. They just won't do business in that state. And Brookside Farm, how are you? You never know, Ozzy. And I wasn't aware that your fat ass governor is a billionaire. I mean, he's got enough money to bribe everybody. But even if it doesn't become law, Ozzy, they're going to probably have taxes or whatever. I mean, it's another thing the government started doing, right? I mean, during the pandemic, they started adding this hazmat fee. And I finally found powder that was reasonable. I think it was like $30 a pound. And there was a $35 hazmat fee. So now I'm paying a hazmat fee that's more expensive than the powder. I don't know where Jib Jab is, Duke. I haven't seen him on here yet. But that's going to be the next thing. You're going to see the government make these hazmat fees astronomical. And I'm telling you, by September, besides the prices, you're going to have the government probably charging hundreds of dollars of hazmat fees to make it where you can't afford to reload your own ammo. If you don't own reloading equipment, trust me, I'd get it now. Reload as much ammo as you can, or buy as much ammo as you can. Buy as many guns as you can. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm really concerned about the midterms. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining. Well, you know what? When the apocalypse comes, that's why you need to have as many guns and ammo. And you are bewitched. Thanks for joining. Um, we do have a lot of new people on the stream today, which I'm very happy about. Um, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. We do fight for the Second Amendment, and we have this stream every Wednesday evening and every Saturday because you guys asked for it, and I love doing it. Um, I hate saying this, Sarita, and trust me, I hope he does win, provided that the Democrats don't keep shooting at him. They just, I just don't understand. And the funny thing is, I don't know how you make these liberals go away because I'm really concerned about the midterms, um, especially if gas prices don't go down by then. Because the dumbass liberals are going to blame Trump and say, oh, well, you blamed Biden on the gas prices and look at gas now. Because, see, all the liberals can do is find one thing and just keep going at it. I'm not sure, Sarita. I'm not sure about making reloading equipment, and I'm not sure I would trust it. There's a lot of calibration that's involved in there, and for safety reasons, you know what? It's not that expensive. For $200, I would rather buy an RCBS rock chucker than to take my chances on something homemade. I like your thinking there. You are bewitched. From your mouth to God's ears. But I'm telling you, I'm really concerned about the midterms because, and Taylor Maine, yeah, good for you. You know what? I was just looking the other day. I was just looking at the PSA AK-47. Yeah, the DOJ has a huge lawsuit against the state of Colorado. Um, and that's the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court rules that banning AR-15s is unconstitutional, this will allow people in every state to own AR-15s. And God bless you, James Miller. I agree with you. You're bewitched. I, I don't believe that you can build your own reloading equipment that you can trust. Well, here's the problem, Sarita. You see, every time there's a mass shooting, the first thing that the liberals say is that we need more gun control. We need more stupid gun laws. However, when they shoot at our president, all of a sudden they don't care about gun control anymore. Uh, Taylor Maine, you got to move to Tennessee. Great state of Tennessee allows full auto. And God bless you too, James. Appreciate having you here. Well, you are bewitched. See, the whole thing is the DOJ now went after the state of Colorado and basically said, well, exactly said, that there is no such thing as an assault weapon. An assault weapon is a politicized term that was made up by the liberals. So if the Supreme Court rules that banning AR-15s is unconstitutional, you will be able to own them in every state. The other thing is the high capacity magazine bullshit, right? Like New York considers anything over 7 rounds high capacity, right? Well, that's a term that the Democrats made up. The liberals invented high capacity. There's no such thing as a high capacity magazine. When you buy an AR-15 that comes with a 30-round magazine, that 30-round magazine is standard issue. It's a high capacity. Yeah, Tennessee has full auto as well, Mike. Yeah, well, the problem in California is not only that. With an AR-15, you need to have the bullet button, um, so that you can't have a detachable magazine. Well, see, this is the problem where hopefully Blanche looks like he's doing a lot for us, unlike Pam Bondi, who did nothing. Um, but it looks like Blanche is doing a lot for us because he's looking at all of these made up gun laws that the liberals made up. And we need the Supreme Court to put their foot down and say, that's it, hands off the Second Amendment. And Mark, welcome to you in Mississippi. Thank you for joining. Being you just joined, Mark, We do this live stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. We discuss firearms, accessories, politics, and yes, feel free to bash the Democrats here. We don't care about that. But yeah, basically, we discuss firearms, Second Amendment. It's an open forum. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. We have almost 1,000 videos. I got some real cool stuff that was sent to me this week to review. Well, good for you, Mark, because I think the majority of us here are all in the same boat. The great state of Tennessee had an awesome win last week with the redistricting. The liberals actually lost a seat, and they're going apeshit. And if you love your Second Amendment, Mark, this is the place for you. That's why it's called pro-gun. We fight for our gun rights every day here. We support the gun organizations. I particularly like Gun Owners of America. NRA, in my opinion, is not what it used to be. I still think they're a cash cow that is more worried about taking people's money. And I think that the Firearms Coalition and the Gun Owners of America do much more than the NRA does. And I don't like the NRA forces me to become a member just so I could keep my NRA pistol instructor certification. Yeah, Democrats are gun grabbers unless they're the ones shooting. That's the ironic thing. They all want gun control. They don't want anybody to have guns. But yet when they shoot at President Trump, you don't hear boo from the Democrats about gun control. Isn't that really weird? Funny you should ask that, Joshua. They actually just changed that law in Tennessee. It used to be 21, and yes, now at 18 you can buy and carry a handgun in Tennessee. I agree with you, Mark. I used to live in the I used to live in the communist state of New Jersey. And in New Jersey, the people would just bend over if they tried taking their guns away. That ain't going to fly down south, I can tell you. And even if, God forbid, even if we did lose an election for governor and they got a liberal, I will guarantee you that no sheriff in the state of Tennessee is going to go trying to take people's guns away. Well, it's almost an oxymoron, Duke. So you allow illegals in here that commit crimes and rape and kill and sell fentanyl to kids, and at the same time, you don't care about guns. You would think that the liberals would encourage people to go out and buy guns to protect themselves from the scumbags that they're letting into the country. Now, what I don't understand is, as a parent or people that are grandparents, how do these people honestly believe that voting Democrat is a good thing and that their kids and generations of kids are going to have a safe place to live? You can't tell me, there is no way you can tell me that a Democrat honestly believes that this is a great place to live. I mean, you're not safe anywhere. This is why, if you live in a state where you can carry a gun, you should be carrying. The problem a lot of gun owners make is they don't carry every day. If you're going to carry every day. You're not safe anywhere. They're shooting. You can't even go to church. They have shootings in churches, schools, the mall. there's nothing safe anymore. You're not safe in your home anymore. Um, the police don't even have the obligation to protect you. So it's going to be your guns. Well, see, this is the problem. The the Democrats love the illegals, and you'll notice in the Democratic states where you don't need IDs to vote is because all the damn illegals are voting. Like in the great state of Tennessee, if you don't have a photo ID on a government issued ID card, you can't vote, period. And it should be that way in every state. And I could tell you in New Jersey, it's just a coincidence that my wife and I have the same name as my parents. And when we went to vote, you give them the last name and they show you a name in the book. And they say, "Is this you?" And you say, "Yes." No ID, and you vote. We could have voted twice, being that we have the same name as my parents. And the funny thing about it is that if you listen to the liberals talk, they make it sound like anybody can just walk into a gun store and buy a gun. Yet you need to have a clean record. You need to have a photo ID, a driver's license to purchase a firearm. But yet in New York City, if you don't have a driver license, you can't shovel snow because of their new jackass mayor. Well, you have to show a driver's license in every state, Mark. That's federal law. That's a FFL thing. There's also some new proposals to the FFL forms coming up. Like one of them is doing away with the non-binary gender and only having male or female. The other thing is if you live in a state where it's legal to have marijuana and you say no, you don't use drugs, that you won't be falsifying a document. The third one they're talking about is being able to have firearms sent to your home. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I remember that there, You Are Bewitched in New Jersey. You used to have to apply for a pistol permit, and you still do. And you can only buy one gun every 30 days. But that permit could take 6 months. They send letters to people. You have to give them references. And because it's a May issue, there's no law that says they have to give it to them. Yep, and I carry my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter, Oz. So yes, New Jersey is the same thing. And that's the problem when you live in these liberal states and they are may issue, not must issue. And then you go to Tennessee and it's like a whole different country. Interactive sheep, you know what? There's no such thing as a bad gun unless you have a high point. Whatever works, works. Nothing wrong with a P365. But yeah, in Tennessee, don't know pistol permit. I could fill up my shopping cart with 50 handguns. And it's not a problem. Scorpio, I used to have the Taurus Judge public defender. Honestly, it was a novelty. To be honest with you, that 410 is really not a great defensive round, and 45 Colt is too expensive. And and it only holds 5 rounds. Be honest with you, I'd rather use my 1911 or 357 Magnum. You know what, Brookside? If you have good luck with them, good for you. I would never recommend somebody go out and buy a high point for self-defense, just like I wouldn't recommend them to go buy a Keltec. But I agree with you, you are bewitched. 45 long Colt is a great round. It's just expensive. And, you know, you could do the same or more with a 10 millimeter or a 45 ACP. I have a lot of 1911s. I like them all. And I got a lot of 357s that I carry. Fortunately, I reload. So I have a boatload of 357 ammo. It costs me nothing to shoot. Obviously, I don't use reloaded ammo for carrying, and no one should. The 1911 is a good choice, Mark. I do not own a 44 Magnum, and the only reason is because of overpenetration. I think a 357 Magnum is probably the high end as far as penetration goes. A 44 mag, I'd be concerned. You know what? You're bewitched. I disagree with that. First of all, I don't like used. And by the way, a 327 Magnum is a good bullet, but it's basically obsolete. But anyway, getting back to that. A revolver is one thing. A semi-automatic, I would never buy used. The store is not going to, I'll get right to you, Gundoggin. A store is not going to let you strip down a semi-automatic that far to take out the firing pin, etc. And a lot of people don't clean and they beat the crap out of their guns. So I would not say private owner is a good way to go. That's just me. Well, good for you there, Gundoggin. Good to have you here always, and you drive safe. God bless you out there. Be safe. Be careful. So the new Kimber lightweight custom that I bought, I am liking it. Um, I'm actually very happy with it so far. It's been pretty reliable. Yeah, no problem, Duke. I mean, like I said, I check all the gun laws in every state, and that's because y'all live in different states. So I like to keep up on as much gun news from as many states as possible, but also because we used to live in the communist state of New Jersey, um, I follow them even closer. You are bewitched. Dan Wesson makes good guns. They are owned by CZ for the past few years now. Um, but anyway, um, send me the email, Duke. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Um, sorry, I digressed. Yeah, you're bewitched. Dan Wesson, now that they're owned by CZ, uh, they have good quality again. Kimber, uh, I'm kind of I'm kind of on the fence with. I, I've said before, I purchased a Kimber Custom couple of years ago. I had it for a couple of weeks. I hated it. I had nothing but trouble with it. Um, because it's a 1911, I should have tried. Um, I should have tried other magazines, such as the Wilson Combat or Chip McCormick. However, after a few years, I decided to give Kimber another try, and I got a deal I couldn't pass up. So um, I bought another Kimber lightweight custom with the aluminum slide, and I've been very happy with it. I've only had it a few weeks. Thomas Williams, I welcome. I don't know what you're asking. You just have Glocks, question mark. You know what, AJ? You can't go wrong with any CZ, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's a good deal, I would do it. Personally, I think the porting is a gimmick, but if it's a good price, well, to each his own there, Interactive Sheep. I don't like used guns, except for revolvers. It's kind of hard to mess a revolver up. Thomas Williams. See, if you're asking me what Glock I recommend, now I'm going to tell you none. And the reason for that is when Glock bent over because of the gun ban in California, and they discontinued every one of the guns that they made and came out with a V series and then came out with the Gen 6, I will never buy another gun again. What I would recommend, honestly, the Ruger RXM, in my opinion, is hands down the best quality 9mm pistol at that price range. $400. I put that up against my Glock 19 any day. It is optic ready. It's got a tritium front night sight, and the grip is insane. The grip was made by Magpul, and they have the grips available in full size, compact, and subcompact. And for $400, you can't beat it. So that's my 2 cents. I would never recommend a Glock anymore. And I used to be a Glock poster child, trust me. And I own a lot of Glocks, and I'll never get rid of them, but I'll never buy another one. Fortunately, all my Glocks were all pre-V series. RT, your mommy's calling you. Bye-bye. You're welcome, Thomas. If you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. I've done reviews on the Ruger RXM. It is an awesome gun. Trust me, you will not find a gun better than that for $400. So I left a message earlier. Yes, Noble has arrived. The Ruger RXM is hot. And the Attorney General in Connecticut tried strong-arming Ruger and told Ruger they would sue him if they didn't discontinue the RXM. And Ruger had a great response. Unlike Glock, they said, we produce firearms for law-abiding citizens and will continue to do so. More importantly, Ruger basically said, screw you, and they moved to North Carolina. So this is the problem with these liberal states. So they just run these gun companies out of the state. People are losing jobs. That's why a lot of gun companies are moving to Tennessee. Smith & Wesson moved to Tennessee. Beretta moved to Tennessee. Uzi moved to Tennessee. It's a gun-friendly state. I can't believe that there's still gun manufacturers left in those liberal states. Yes, AG, it's not. Yes, they just passed the bill in Connecticut, effective, I believe, June or July. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I believe it's January 1st, 2027. Um, Connecticut will be banning all Glock style guns. They didn't just ban the Ruger RXM. They went after all Glock style guns. So basically, it would be the Glock, it would be the Ruger RXM, the PSA Dagger, and any other Glock clone. Yes, Noble has arrived. Smith& Wesson moved to Maryville, Tennessee. It's about an hour from here. And they had an open house. It was awesome. My wife and I went to the open house. It was phenomenal. I agree, Ozzy. Yes, exactly, AG. But the point is that they're going to do what a lot of like what California did. You just won't be able to buy new ones. But um, anyway, Ozzy, I agree with your statement there. And when people ask me about, what caliber they should get, what I always recommend people to do is go to a gun range, rent guns in a different caliber, and get the biggest caliber gun you shoot well. And if it happens to be that the biggest caliber you shoot well is a 380 or a 9 millimeter, so be it. But Thomas Williams, Sig Sauer thoughts? Yep. And I know a lot of people are going to get their panties in a bunch, but I don't care. I speak my mind, and uh, my goal is to be honest, even though I am opinionated. Um, I love Sig Sauer. Um, I have Sig Sauer P320 in 9 millimeter, 45 ACP, and 10 millimeter. I have the X10 comp. My Sig Sauers have never shot anybody, and they have never just gone off. Um, Easy, LC Music, and welcome. Thank you for joining. My favorite caliber is 10 millimeter and then 45, hence Pro Gun 45. I agree with you, Noble. The 365 is an awesome gun. Um, it's probably Sig Sauer's best-selling gun. Um, and again, I've had my 320s for years, and um, mine have never shot anybody. Yeah, that's funny, Elsie. My Glock 20 is one of my favorites. However, it's too big and bulky to carry. So my new carry gun now, um, I'll get right to you there, Jesus. My new carry gun now is my Smith& Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. It's got a 4-inch barrel. I love my Glock 20. It's a great gun for home defense, but it's a little big and bulky. Um, Jesus, no, 308 rifles are not outdated, and they absolutely are still worth buying. Um, I bought a Remington 308 bolt action. I always wanted a bolt action, um, and I always wanted a 308. So I got a good deal on the Remington bolt action 308. Um, I also want to build a um, AR-10, which is a 308 on the AR platform. Uh, and no, 308 rounds are actually very easy to find. The best way to sell them, Smith Jr., to be honest with you, is gun broker. You go to gun broker and you can at least have a minimum on the auction. Um, you go to a gun store, they're going to bend you over because I get it. They got to make 40 to 50% on it. So the best thing to do is do research on the guns, find out what they're worth, and sell them on gun broker, or sell them to a private individual that collects guns. But I definitely would not go to a gun store. Yeah, there's a reason that the military uses a 308. It's a damn powerful round. It's extremely accurate. It shoots fairly flat, doesn't really drop off. And yes, you are bewitched. Sorry, I didn't see your comment here. Yes, SIG makes a great 1911. But for that matter, all of my SIGs are great guns. I love them all. I'm not believing that they go off and have negligent discharges. I still think that it's owner operator error, even though people get pissy over that. In my opinion, it seems to be mostly law enforcement, and it seems like these um, discharges are when they're holstering and unholstering their weapon. I don't mean gun brokers, Duke. I mean the actual site, gunbroker.com. Um, in my opinion, that's the best way to sell a gun. Yeah, good for you, Thomas Williams. We used to live in the communist state of New Jersey, and we moved to Tennessee. Um, and it's like a totally different country. Um, but New York is bad. I remember when we lived in New Jersey, it was a holiday. My wife and I were looking for a gun range. So we threw the guns in the back of the car and we went over the border and we went into, I believe it was Suffern, New York. We went to a gun range and the guy at the gun range said, "Is that your car with New Jersey plates?" And we said, "Yeah, why?" And he said, "There's state troopers shooting in here. I would leave now if I were you because you will get arrested for transporting a firearm over the state line." I was like, "Holy shit, we're just looking to go to a gun range to shoot." But apparently, if you come from another state and you transport a firearm over the state line into New York, you can get arrested, even if it's properly locked in the storage box. So, but yeah, there's other places. I think guns.com, but hey, Dale, thanks for joining, brother. You're a little late though. It's 8:57. We will be ending this stream in 7 minutes. I see we do have a lot of new people on the stream today, so I thank you all for joining. Um, if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Like I said earlier, we will not be having a stream next Wednesday or next Saturday. We'll be going to Nashville, and I will be going to the Glock store open house on May 30th. They're giving away $50,000 worth of shit and a lot of swag, so that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, go on, Noble. Yeah, I love 308, and that's why I'm going to build an AR-10. I think a 308 on an AR platform would be really cool. Um, I need to buy the 308 lower receiver first, and I have all the tools I need, so I'll be putting that together. Um, and CG, your mommy's calling you. Go back in the basement. Bye bye. No jib jab today. Yeah, so Duke, go out and get the reloading equipment. Don't forget, send me the email, um, and I'll answer any questions you have regarding reloading. Again, my email address is in this chat here, guys. If you have any questions, I do answer everyone's. My email is also in the About Us page um, on our uh, YouTube channel. Noble has arrived. What lower do I look at? Now, this is just me. Um, I like Bear Creek Arsenal, personally. Um, Bear Creek Arsenal, for the money, I think are very nice. I haven't had any issues. I built um, 4 AR pistols, and I built a 300 Blackout, all with Bear Creek Arsenal uppers, and I have not had a problem with a single one of them. Um, for those that are wondering, when I buy my ARs from Bear Creek, I get all of mine that are rear charging. I don't like left or right charging ARs. It's almost like it's got a proprietary charging handle, so I prefer the rear charging handles. And I also customized mine. I have a lot of really cool stuff on my charging handles. So, you know what, Duke? If you can't find your dad's reloader, it's not a lot of money. You may want to do it anyway. Is go to like Bass Pro and get the RCBS Rock Chucker. It's about $249, and that is by far the best made bullet press money can buy for $250. It's made out of cast iron. It's got a lifetime warranty. I have one that's over 30 years old, and I called them and asked them to send me a part, and they sent me it free of charge, and this thing is over 30 years old, and they don't even ask for ownership. Matter of fact, every product RCBS has got a lifetime warranty. Well, if he's got a rock chucker there, Duke, you're golden, because that, let me tell you, my buddy in Texas that sent me the rock chucker 4 or 5 years ago, it was all nasty. I got steel wool, polished it up, oiled it, looks brand new now, and I've reloaded probably 50,000 rounds of ammo since I got that. You can't go wrong. And like I said, all the RCBS products have a lifetime warranty. You can't beat it. Those RCBS products will live longer than you will. And again, all the new people, thank you so much for joining our stream. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. If you like what we do here and you want to help support us, click the join button. You may want to consider being a member. We do have some members here. We can use all the help we can get. The support we get from you guys is what we use to purchase our firearms and accessories. So thank you all. Duke, thanks for joining, brother. Have a great weekend. Those aren't bad either, Dale. I just personally prefer RCBS. I used to have a Dillon Square Dale B, which I never should have sold. which probably would be my favorite choice, but too expensive. But anyway, if you haven't done so, guys, please subscribe, turn on notifications. It is 9 o'clock now. We'll be ending the stream. So thank you all so much for joining. And remember, we won't be doing the stream next week. My wife and I will be in Nashville, and we will be going to the Glock store open house. So we will do the stream the following week. Have a safe Memorial Week. Thank you for joining.